Today's Young and the Restless recap airs in the USA on Wednesday, April 30, 2025, and airs one day ahead in Canada. We post our RI and R recaps every weekday. Victoria fusses over Cole and thinks he should take more time to rest after his travels. Cole has another coughing fit, but quickly changes the subject and insists that he is fine. Victoria doesn't like the cough. Cole says he always gets sick when he flies. Victoria feels his forehead and finds him to be hot. She suggests he see a doctor and grabs her phone to make him an appointment. Cole says he's going back to the club to keep his germs away from her. Victoria instructs him to sit down. If the tea and pain reliever don't work, he is going to see a doctor. Cole reluctantly agrees. Victoria rushes in with the tea. She wants him to stay there so she can keep an eye on him. Cole is gonna take the medicine. Nikki and Claire finish up business and switch to personal talk. Claire informs her grandmother that she and Kyle said, "I love you." Nikki wants her to enjoy the moment. Claire is excited to start looking for a place with Kyle, though she worries about how Victor will react or retaliate. Nikki says her advice has not changed. Claire is overwhelmed in a good way. Nikki says it's impossible to know Victor's plans. She offers to speak with Victor and soften him up a little to soften the blow. Claire insists she must do this herself. Nikki believes this information needs to come in stages and will help Claire navigate it. Claire agrees to follow her lead. Nikki is glad to. Lauren praises Chelsea for her work on the new Marchetti palette. Chelsea offers to buy Lauren a coffee and get her guidance on something. Lauren agrees to meet her at Crimson in 30 minutes. Billy tells Sally that she was right about Phyllis and he had no choice but to fire her. He wonders if he held on to hope for too long. Sally wonders if he is okay. Billy doesn't blame Phyllis for being upset with him and feeling like he yanked a lifeline away from her. He says she is an asset and will be again, but not right now. Billy believes Phyllis will land on her feet. He says he needs to find his second in command. Sally reminds him of his suggestion about them working together and wonders if he was serious. Billy says he wasn't joking and wonders if she's been thinking about it. Sally tells him about Audra's suggestion. She defends her friend and insists she makes mistakes. Billy respects her opinion, but wants details on her thoughts about joining him at Abbott Communications. Sally wants to explore the idea. Billy is ready to celebrate with champagne. Sally stops him. She loves fashion, and this isn't an easy decision. She wants to discuss what it will look like for them to work together. Billy says it can look like whatever they want it to look like. He promises to always respect her opinions, instincts, and creativity. Sally doesn't want to lose the feeling she gets from bringing joy to other people through fashion. Billy believes Sally is the right person for the job. Sally says she must talk to Summer, Chloe, and Lauren. Billy reminds Sally that it was her wise words that rekindled his passion for media. Sally is tempted and flattered by the offer. She promises to get him an answer. Billy asks her not to drag it out. Sally is relieved. She admits Phyllis is brilliant but reckless at the same time. Chelsea runs into Connor and Adam. She tells Adam she is meeting Lauren to run something by her. Adam wonders if it's about his proposal. Chelsea reminds Adam that he can't read her mind. Adam says he can. Lauren enters and jokes about how Chelsea and Adam are like teenagers. Adam and Connor leave so the ladies can talk. Chelsea tells Lauren she's received a job offer. Lauren believes it's from Marchetti's competition. Chelsea clarifies that it would not be a conflict of interest. She says her replacement should be Sally. Chelsea feels it's too soon to talk to Summer because she isn't sure she wants to leave. Lauren wants to know what the job is. Chelsea tells her. Lauren advises that it is a huge, time-consuming job. Chelsea loves fashion, but she loves creating in general. Lauren reminds her that she will be working with Adam. Chelsea says something has changed between them, and they are closer now. Lauren has faith in Sally, but questions if she wants to do both jobs. She suggests that Chelsea speak with Sally and both of them go to Summer with the solution. Chelsea feels awkward going to Sally with this. Lauren says the key is making sure she knows what she wants, and it can get messy. She will support her no matter what she chooses. Claire arrives. Victoria cautions her to be quiet so Cole can rest on the sofa. Cole overhears their conversation and wishes Claire good luck with attempting to sell Victor on her plan of moving in with Kyle. Claire tells him that he should be resting in an actual bed. Cole advises her to step back so she doesn't catch this. Victoria sees that he is getting no better. Cole says it isn't just a cold, and he really needs to see a doctor. Make sure to comment about this episode and recap. Enjoy chatting with other like-minded Y and R fans in our group, which is dedicated to recaps, spoilers, rumors, gossip, and comings and goings. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, May 1, reveal that Summer Newman will deal with double the trouble while Victor Newman ups the stakes with Audra Charles. For starters, Nikki Newman may follow through on her plan to help ease Victor into the news about Claire Newman living with Kyle Abbott. Of course, Victor is bound to flip out anyway, so that could be why he'll contact Audra and up the stakes on Thursday's show. Perhaps Victor will. However, Victor may also threaten to torpedo the whole deal if Audra doesn't deliver on what she's promised right away. Regardless, you can bet Victor will be impatient when it comes to the Kyle and Claire split that he's so desperate to see. Over with Lauren Fenmore Baldwin, she'll find patience in short supply as well. Michael Baldwin's decision to meet with Jack Abbott without Victor's knowledge will leave Lauren concerned and frustrated. Although Michael will act like he can handle navigating all this, Lauren will think he's setting himself up for a major crisis instead. Speaking of a major crisis, Summer has some professional drama ahead of her. It sounds like Summer may find out that both Chelsea Lawson and Sally Spectra have other job offers on the table. If Summer gets some alarming updates on Thursday's I and R episode, she may panic over the possibility of losing both Sally and Chelsea at the same time. This could be a disaster for Marchetti, though Chelsea may assure Summer that she won't go if Sally leaves for Abbott Communications. Likewise, Sally might promise to stick around if Chelsea bolts for Newman Media. Even so, this could turn into quite the mess for Summer, who won't want Marchetti to suffer, though she may not want to hold Sally and Chelsea back either. Could a newly unemployed Phyllis Summers be the answer to all Summer's problems? Phyllis could potentially take over for Chelsea as Marchetti's creative director and help find a replacement for Sally at Marchetti Z2. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that there are 3 characters who need to walk away from Victor Newman. It could be the only path to peace, so let's discuss the Geno City residents who should stand up for themselves. For starters, we should talk about Michael Baldwin, since he's trying to help Victor and still gets treated like dirt. It's clear that Michael cares about Victor and wants to save him from his own worst impulses, but Victor doesn't see it that way. Michael's efforts to put guardrails on Victor's behavior are a betrayal in his boss' eyes. At this point, maybe Victor shouldn't be Michael's boss at all since he berates him for offering reasonable options. There's a chance Michael will get fired now that he's been sneaking around for meetings with Jack Abbott. Even if Michael somehow manages to keep his job, perhaps he should resign and find a more peaceful road to head down. Claire Newman is another character who should arguably walk away from Victor, especially once he carries out this plot with Audra Charles. Victor is breaking his promise not to sabotage Claire and Kyle Abbott's relationship, so he's crossing a major line with his granddaughter. Claire may ultimately see that Victor is just as controlling as Jordan, even if he tries to play it off as protectiveness. It would serve Victor right if Claire cut ties with him, at least for a while. Claire could patch things up with Victor eventually, but distancing herself from her grandpa might be the only way to get through to Victor for now. Audra is making a big mistake by striking a deal with Victor, so walking away would be in her best interest, too. You'd think Audra would have learned her lesson by now since she's been burned by Victor multiple times. However, Audra is letting herself get swept up in the allure of a shiny new cosmetics company, even if it means playing dirty to destroy Kyle's romance with Claire. The problem is Audra could be risking her own relationship with Nate Hastings if he gets updates on what she's really up to. Nate could blow up over the news that Audra is working to split up Claire and Kyle. Plus, Audra can't trust that her contract will be as ironclad as she thinks, knowing how Victor operates. Victor's lawyers are no doubt better than Audra's, so he could find a way to cut her loose once he's done using her. Audra would be better off ditching Victor permanently and finding a new career path that doesn't involve any connection to the Newmans. Despite Audra's predictions about pulling off her mission and achieving success, Y&R seems to be setting her up for a huge fall instead. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victor will continue running the show in Genoa City, but some GC residents need to stand up to him for once. The Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, April 30, reveals that Claire Newman and Victoria Newman will panic over Cole Howard's medical crisis. A doctor will be needed ASAP, so here's what Y&R fans can expect on Wednesday's exciting episode. At the GCAC, Billy Abbott will talk to Sally Spectra about cutting Phyllis Summers loose, and will confirm that his offer to team up with Sally was serious. Although Sally won't be ready to commit to the job yet, Billy will make all kinds of positive predictions about their team effort, and will hope for good news soon. After Chelsea Lawson sets up a Crimson Lights meeting with Lauren Baldwin, she'll find Adam Newman and Connor Newman there. Once Adam gets updates on Chelsea seeking advice from Lauren, he'll grow hopeful about Chelsea taking him up on his offer to work together. Lauren will eventually sit down with Chelsea and learn she's indeed thinking about quitting Marchetti to join Newman Media. However, Chelsea won't want to leave Summer Newman in a bind. Chelsea will wonder if Sally could handle taking over the creative director position while still working on the Marchetti Z-line. Lauren will acknowledge that it's a lot of work and will think it's best for Chelsea to talk to Sally before they go to Summer. Chelsea will worry about the awkwardness and won't want to speak with Sally until she's sure of what she wants. Lauren will urge Chelsea to trust her instincts and will promise to back her up either way. At Society, Claire will tell Nikki Newman that she exchanged love declarations with Kyle Abbott. Talk will turn to Claire deciding to look for a new place with Kyle, but she'll fear Victor's going to blow up and maybe even retaliate. Nikki will ultimately convince Claire that this information has to come in stages, so she'll want to open the door to this topic and soften Victor up. At the Tack House, Victoria will grow increasingly concerned about Cole since his cough will keep getting worse. The fact that Cole seems to have a fever will add to Victoria's worries. Cole will continue to downplay this as a cold or flu at first, so he'll think he just needs to sleep it off at the athletic club alone. Victoria will want to take care. Once Claire stops by to pick up some work and reveal Nikki's plan to help her with Victor, she'll see that Cole is resting on the sofa and will question Victoria. Both Victoria and Claire will panic over Cole's persistent coughing fits. In the end, even Cole will realize this isn't just a cold and will decide he indeed needs to see a doctor. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Cole could be facing a devastating diagnosis soon, so stay tuned. On The Young and the Restless, loyal alliances are beginning to crack. In recent episodes, Michael Baldwin has struggled deeply. Long known as Victor Newman's trusted ally, Michael is questioning his loyalty. Fans are buzzing with excitement about what could happen next. Michael has been a good boy for decades, but The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that cracks are forming. His heat, Michael seemed seconds away from a meltdown. Viewers noticed his hands shaking, his voice rising. Could this be the start of a dark new chapter? Reddit fans have lit up with speculation. One fan shared, "Maybe it's just me, but I'm ready for Michael to skate around his dark side." Another excitedly posted, "Bad Michael was so fun." Many longtime viewers remember when Michael was ruthless. Before he reformed, he was a legal shark with zero boundaries. It's been a long time since we've seen that edge. But if Victor keeps pushing, fans believe Michael could unleash it once again. Some fans even hope for an epic battle between Michael and Victor. "It would be fun to see him take Victor down," one wrote. Another commented, "I want him to take Victor down badly." Michael looked like he was going to have a heart attack arguing with Vic. Victor's rage has reached alarming levels. In a world where Victor usually wins, Michael's rebellion could lead to shocking fallout. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest major drama ahead. If Michael turns against Victor, Genoa City could explode. Michael knows all of Victor's secrets. He has the skills and insider knowledge to destroy him. With Victor more unstable than ever, the timing could be perfect. Many viewers think this slow build is intentional. "I think it's in the works," a Reddit user said. Who could take that much of Victor's rage? Fans noted how anxious Victor's latest outbursts made them feel. Even seasoned viewers felt the tension jump off the screen. Could that intense pressure push Michael into action? One thing is certain. The Young and the Restless is setting the stage for something explosive. As The Young and the Restless spoilers tease major changes, all eyes are on Michael Baldwin. If he taps into his old dark side, the soap could deliver one of its most thrilling storylines yet. Stay tuned to see if Michael becomes the unexpected villain fans are secretly rooting for. For more updates, spoilers, and juicy predictions, keep reading Soap Opera Daily. Don't forget to bookmark us for all your high and R news. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest Mariah Copeland is hiding something, and it was very evident during the Tuesday, April 29 episode. Still, what kind of secret is she keeping under wraps, and how will it affect her relationship with Tessa Porter moving forward? Here are 3 possible storyline scenarios. As soon as Mariah entered Crimson on the April 29 show, Young and the Restless fans could sense something was off with her. She immediately looked guilty of something, so could she have engaged in a one-night stand with another woman? After all, she returned from a business trip, so it's quite possible that she may have crossed a line with someone else over drinks at the hotel bar. One bevy may have led to another, until she found herself in bed with someone other than her wife. It's hard to shake the idea that Mariah cheated, especially when she was acting so odd during Tuesday's show. After all, she just had to go see Area Copeland Porter as soon as she landed. This screams guilt. Still, a one-night stand is awful, but could Mariah have met up with an old flame? She may feel terrible about the possibility of an emotional affair and breaking up Aria's happy home. What if she ran into Lindsay, the old bartender from Society, with whom she had an OS with back in 2020? Then again, what about Tyler Michelson? Mariah could have run into an old flame that has never been on canvas, and even if she didn't cross a line, she may feel guilty about her feelings. As Tess seems poised to dive into a romance with Daniel Romalotti, Mariah's cheating actions could open the door to a Tyraya split. Mariah mentioned to Tessa that she had talked to Sharon Newman, and it seems as if she, Nick Newman, and the kids are having a blast in Europe visiting Noah Newman. Still, Phyllis Summers is still struggling to get her life back on track from her and Sharon's kidnapping. So, could Mariah be lying about that? What if she found out that Sharon had a breakdown too and is hiding the news? Could Sharon's new storyline, when she comes home, center around another mental health breakdown? What do you think Mariah is hiding? Drop a comment below. Watch the CBS Soap Daily to catch all the drama in Genoa City. and visit this site often for the best Young and the Restless news, updates, and spoilers. The world of daytime television is in mourning as shocking news emerges about the tragic passing of a beloved star from the Young and the Restless. Early this morning, authorities confirmed that the actress was found deceased in an open field at approximately 4 a.m., sending shockwaves through the entertainment industry and her legions of fans. Few details have been released at this time, but the circumstances surrounding the discovery have sparked widespread speculation. Investigators are treating the case with the utmost seriousness, though they have yet to confirm whether foul play was involved or if the death resulted from a tragic accident or other causes. The remote location where her body was discovered raises further questions about the events leading up to her untimely death. Iconic The Young and the Restless star Meg Bennett dies after cancer battle. The Young and the Restless actress Meg Bennett, who famously played the character of Julia Martin in the soap for 40 years, sadly died at the age of 75 years old after a battle with cancer. Colleagues from The Young and the Restless expressed their disbelief and sorrow over the heartbreaking loss. Cast and crew described her as a vibrant and compassionate individual whose talent and dedication to her craft shone both on and off screen. Social media has been flooded with tributes from co-stars and fans, many recalling her most memorable performances and the impact she had on the show's enduring legacy. She was a light on set, someone who always brought warmth and positivity to every room she entered. One co-star shared in an emotional statement, "We're devastated beyond words and will miss her deeply." This tragic incident not only leaves a void in the Y&R family, but also raises questions about mental health and the pressures of the entertainment industry. The late actress had been candid in past interviews about the challenges she faced balancing the demands of her career with her personal life. However, there has been no indication that these struggles played a role in her death. Fans have taken to social media to grieve collectively, sharing their favorite moments of the actress from her time on the show. Some have even organized virtual vigils to celebrate her life and legacy. One fan wrote, "She wasn't just an actress, she was a part of our daily lives. It feels like losing a family member." Law enforcement officials are urging anyone with information about the incident to come forward, as they work to piece together the events that led to this devastating outcome. Meanwhile, producers at The Young and the Restless have announced plans to honor her memory with a special tribute episode, celebrating her contributions to the show and the lives she touched. Iconic The Young and the Restless star Meg Bennett, who famously starred in the soap for over 40 years, died at the age of 75 years old after a battle with cancer. The news of Meg, legally Helen Margaret Bennett's, death was announced over the weekend, with the Los Angeles Times confirming her passing on April 11th after a health battle. The beloved star's obituary read, "Meg lost her battle with cancer. Until nearly the end, she was devotedly working with children, writing and engaging with her far-flung family and friends." Meg famously remembered for playing the beloved role of Julia Newman in the soap opera The Young and the Restless, and not only was she an incredibly talented actress, but also an Emmy award-winning soap opera script writer, with her work featured in R&R, The Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, Santa Barbara, and Sunset Beach. Meg Bennett has died at the age of 75. Meg famously played the role of Julia Newman in The Young and the Restless. During her impressive career in the entertainment industry, Meg was the recipient of a number of awards, including a Daytime Emmy for Best Writing for General Hospital in 1995. She also earned 3 Writers Guild of America awards for GH in 1994, 1995, and 1997, and 2 wins for the soap Santa Barbara in 1991 and 1992. In The Young and the Restless, Meg starred as Julia, who was the young, beautiful first wife of Victor Newman, who had a messy, complicated marriage with the character. In remembrance of her important role on the soap, both on and off-screen, the show's official Instagram page paid tribute to Meg, sharing a gorgeous headshot shot of her from the series. The soap wrote, Y&R mourns the loss of Meg Bennett, who graced Y&R with her talents, both on and off-screen, beginning in 1980 as Julia Newman, and then as member of the Y&R writing staff for many years. As the investigation continues, the tragic loss serves as a sobering reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of supporting one another, particularly in times of hardship. The actress's legacy will live on through her work, cherished by fans and colleagues alike, even as the industry comes to terms with this heartbreaking loss. In a heartbreaking turn of events on The Young and the Restless, Phyllis Summers finds herself spiraling into emotional turmoil after being fired by Billy Abbott. Known for her strength and resilience, Phyllis is consumed by grief and frustration, leading to a fateful night that would change everything. Phyllis had spent years building her career and her life, only to see it all unravel. After Billy dismissed her from their company, she felt as if her world was crumbling. The emotional burden of losing her position, her professional identity, and the strained relationships with her son Daniel and daughter Summer overwhelmed her. Struggling to cope, Phyllis got behind the wheel of her car in a state of deep distress, the pain of betrayal clouding her judgment. Her emotional state spiraled as she sped through the empty streets of Genoa City, avoiding phone calls from her children, unable to confront them about the devastation she was feeling. Her grief and confusion mounted as memories of her past with Billy flooded her mind. The emotional pressure finally became too much, and in a tragic moment, Phyllis lost control of her car. The crash was violent, followed by a devastating explosion that left her unconscious and critically injured. Despite the efforts of passersby and paramedics to rescue her, Phyllis' injuries were too severe. By the time her children, Daniel and Summer, arrived at the hospital, they were confronted with the painful reality of her condition, her body battered beyond recognition. They were forced to witness the woman who had once been the strong, determined center of their world, now lying in critical condition, and they couldn't help but direct their anger towards Billy for causing her breakdown. The fallout from Billy's actions didn't stop with Phyllis' accident. As the doctors gave her a slim 20% chance of survival, Daniel, consumed by grief, made it clear he would hold Billy accountable. Billy, too, was struck with guilt and regret over the consequences of his decision to fire Phyllis. Though he hadn't anticipated this tragic outcome, he still felt deeply responsible for the pain Phyllis was enduring. The emotional turmoil extended to their family dynamics, with Daniel and Summer grappling with the role Billy and Sally Spectra played in their mother's decline. Tensions between the characters reached a boiling point, with Daniel vowing revenge, while Summer urged him to focus on supporting Phyllis in her fight for survival. As Phyllis clung to life, the hospital waiting room became a place of unbearable tension, where guilt, regret, and fear hung heavy. The uncertainty of her survival kept everyone on edge, but for Daniel and Summer, it was clear that the tragic chain of events leading to this moment would leave lasting scars on all involved. With Phyllis' life hanging in the balance, the story of her breakdown and the consequences of Billy's decisions posed the question: would Phyllis recover, or would this devastating night mark the end of her journey in Genoa City? As the story unfolded, it was clear that the emotional repercussions of these actions would forever alter the lives of everyone involved. In a shocking twist on The Young and the Restless, Michael Baldwin's sudden disappearance has sent shockwaves through Genoa City, exposing a complex narrative of betrayal, power struggles, and cold calculation. What began as a strategic betrayal by Michael has evolved into a dangerous game, pitting him against one of the most ruthless figures in the city, Victor Newman. For years, Michael operated as Victor's right-hand man, an integral part of Newman Enterprises. However, his attempt to outmaneuver Victor in a calculated power play marked a catastrophic turning point. Rather than securing his independence, Michael became the target of a high-stakes reprisal. Victor, renowned for his unwavering dominance and strategic ruthlessness, viewed the betrayal not just as a threat, but as a personal affront. Michael's abduction was not an impulsive act of revenge, but a meticulously orchestrated operation. Drugged and taken under mysterious circumstances, Michael awoke bound and disoriented, far from the familiar surroundings of his professional world. It was evident Victor had acted decisively to neutralize a perceived internal threat. Meanwhile, Lauren Fenmore, Michael's wife, grew increasingly alarmed as her husband went completely off the grid. Despite her suspicions that Victor was behind the disappearance, she lacked concrete evidence to involve law enforcement effectively. Her desperate efforts to locate Michael led to sleepless nights and dead ends, as Victor's tracks were carefully concealed. The police, led by Chance Chancellor, found themselves powerless without leads, illustrating Victor's ability to operate above scrutiny. Victor's motives were rooted in more than retaliation. They stemmed from a need to maintain control. Michael's knowledge of Newman Enterprises' inner workings posed an existential risk to Victor's empire. His response, therefore, was not merely punitive, it was preventative. By abducting Michael, Victor aimed to either eliminate the threat or force compliance, reestablishing control over someone who had once been an indispensable part of his operation. The situation escalated into a psychological and emotional battle. Michael, isolated and vulnerable, began to understand the extent of his miscalculation. His ambition had blinded him to Victor's far-reaching capabilities. On the other side, Lauren's resolve grew stronger, driven by love and a refusal to let Victor's influence go unchallenged. Her quest for the truth is far from over, and the tension continues to build as she inches closer to uncovering Victor's secrets. As the narrative unfolds, the lines between personal loyalty and strategic dominance blur. Michael's fate remains uncertain, and Victor's empire, though unshaken on the surface, may face internal fractures. The core theme is no longer about victory. It's about survival in a world where betrayal demands a heavy price and power is maintained through fear, manipulation, and control. In a recent emotionally charged episode of The Young and the Restless, longtime character Phyllis Summers reaches a crisis point following a chain of personal and professional setbacks that culminate in a life-threatening car accident. Viewers are taken through a harrowing narrative as Phyllis's downward spiral, catalyzed by job loss and broken relationships, ends in a devastating crash that sends shockwaves through Genoa City. The storyline begins with Phyllis receiving termination from Abbott Communications, a major blow both to her career and sense of self-worth. The dismissal, delivered by Billy Abbott, severs one of the few remaining threads of stability in her life. The psychological toll of the job loss is compounded by increasingly strained family dynamics, particularly with her son, Daniel, who expresses emotional distance and frustration rather than support. Overwhelmed by personal failures and feelings of betrayal, Phyllis leaves the office and is soon involved in a catastrophic car accident. Exhausted and mentally fragile, she loses control at a crossroads. Her vehicle is struck by another, crashes into a utility pole, and bursts into flames. The accident is witnessed by bystanders and leaves Phyllis in critical condition, unconscious and severely injured. Daniel, upon learning of the incident, rushes to the scene and is emotionally shattered at the sight of his unconscious mother. The distress pushes him into a state of panic and despair, underscoring the emotional complexity of their fractured relationship. Emergency services arrive, and Phyllis is transported to the hospital, where she remains in critical condition, further complicating the already tense emotional landscape for Daniel. As Phyllis lies comatose, the storyline shifts between present crisis and the events leading up to the accident. Flashbacks reveal failed attempts at reconciliation with Billy and emotionally distant interactions with Daniel. Despite her efforts to seek solace and support, reaching out even to Tessa for help, Phyllis finds herself repeatedly dismissed and isolated. Her pleas to regain relevance in both her family and professional life go unheard. Meanwhile, other characters are seen maneuvering around the power vacuum left by Phyllis's absence. Sally Spectra emerges as a likely successor, eager to capitalize on the opportunity and solidify her position at Abbott Communications. A subplot between Sally and Audra introduces underlying tension, with past secrets and power plays surfacing in their interaction, signaling further turmoil ahead. Daniel's internal conflict becomes a key thematic focus. While he grapples with his mother's actions and failures, he is torn between frustration and a desire to protect her. Although he attempts to intercede with Billy to reinstate Phyllis, his efforts are unsuccessful, leading to an eventual acceptance that not all battles can be won. Despite her physical and emotional deterioration, Phyllis exhibits a fragile yet persistent resilience. Though left with nothing, she is determined not to surrender. Her journey from collapse to potential redemption appears to be the next phase of this evolving arc. This storyline presents a layered exploration of mental health, personal failure, and the complexities of familial and workplace relationships. As Genoa City braces for the ripple effects of Phyllis's collapse, the characters around her face moral, emotional, and strategic decisions that will shape the future dynamics of the series. Conclusion: the episode marks a significant narrative shift for the young and the restless, intertwining emotional vulnerability with corporate intrigue. Whether Phyllis survives, and if she does, whether she can rebuild her life, remains to be seen. But for now, her fall has left a lasting impact on those around her, particularly Daniel, who must reconcile his pain with the fading image of the mother he once knew. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that a script leak has revealed a romantic blow-up, so one couple may be doomed. Let's talk about a recent social media post and what it means for the future of One Sizzling Y and R duo. In an Instagram story, Zulika Silver posted a pic to show that she was reading Crime and Punishment before sharing some of her thoughts on it. However, fans couldn't help but notice the Y&R script that was underneath it. Silver offered her followers a little glimpse of what's coming thanks to a line of dialogue that was at the top of the page. It looks like Audra says something about when we blew up romantically before she's cut off by another character during the conversation. That's an intriguing hint to ponder, so let's consider the options here. Audra is already making some big mistakes on screen that could derail her relationship with Nate Hastings, so they may indeed be on the verge of a romantic blow-up. Since Audra is holding back when it comes to her history with Holden Novak and targeting Kyle Abbott's romance with Claire Newman for Victor Newman, there are multiple ways to ruin things with Nate. With all that in mind, it's possible Audra is referring to her relationship with Nate in this script. Audra might be talking to Nate or even someone else about their romance crashing and burning. On the other hand, it's also possible Audra is referring to her past with Holden in this line of dialogue. Perhaps Audra is finally getting honest about her connection with Holden being a deeper romance that blew up rather than a simple fling that meant nothing. In that case, it could still lead to a blow-up with Nate, since Audra swore that she told him everything. Nate is under the impression that Audra went on a handful of dates with Holden, and that was that, so finding out she downplayed things is going to infuriate him. Between that and all the Victor-related drama that's brewing, there's definitely the potential for Nate and Audra's relationship to end in disaster. Audra's predictions about their future together could go up in smoke before long. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday. May 1 prove that even Lauren has a breaking point. She wants to support her husband, but not when Michael insists on remaining loyal to a complete lunatic. A complete lunatic who berates him and doesn't appreciate him, to boot. Lauren wasn't even there when Victor went into one of his psychotic rages, blaming Michael for doing what was best for Victor, but she's heard enough to know that nothing good can come of her husband continuing to work for a man who is obviously mentally ill. Victor abuses and humiliates Michael, then demands that Michael apologize to him for putting Victor in the position of needing to do it. It looked like Michael had come to his senses for a minute when he asked Jack to meet with him. But that's not enough. Lauren needs this madness to end, sooner rather than later. But Michael isn't the only person Victor feels obliged to torture. He also wants to get revenge on Kyle for the sin of making Victor's granddaughter, Claire, happy. To that end, Victor has promised to fund Audra's new company if she seduces Kyle away from Claire. Victor expects immediate results, and he demands to know why Audra hasn't delivered yet. Victor sure is upset about Kyle and Claire. He wasn't nearly this upset when Kyle married Victor's other granddaughter, Summer. Either Victor doesn't love Summer as much as Claire, or Victor thinks Claire needs more protection than Summer, or Victor is just a nutcase. We're going with the latter.